All right, ladies and gentlemen, viewers from all over the world, it is my pleasure to host you once again on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted political talk show. Now, we are in the month of June 2025. As a matter of fact, we are approaching mid-June. Let us come together and have an honest discussion. Nigerians from all over the country, make we talk. At the beginning of this year, we saw this on all the national dailies. Tinubu restates pledge to reduce inflation rate from 34.6% to 15% in 2025. Now we are in June and we have not seen anything. You can check the date he made that statement. It was January 1, 2025. Check it on that post. And I said that same evening that they were lying. I said they would never be able to achieve that. In fact, I said they were not planning to do anything like that. Some of you thought I was being pessimistic. Now you know better. Prices are even rising now instead of going down. And aside the fact that prices are rising due to market forces, Tinubu and his cabinet are busy raising utility bills with their own announcements. Just yesterday, they increased the cost of obtaining driver's license. Import duties have been constantly on the increase. Interest rates, we have one of the highest globally. Tinubu gathers all this money and he bribes politicians to decamp to the APC so he can easily rig his way back to Aso Rock in 2027. But man is not God and man can never be God. Tinubu might think that he has everything all planned out, but he will be hugely betrayed by those he trusts the most. And that takes us to our top stories. Another appointee resigns from Tinubu's cabinet to the shock of many Nigerians. And in his statement after tendering his resignation letter, he completely humiliated Tinubu and FCT Minister WIKE. And concurrently, a shameful video of Tinubu right in his sitting room began circulating. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video.
Because when we wonder, a lot of the leaders of the APC endorse the president, saying that he's done well, things are going well, and he should go on. Mukeso, that's what the shout that they were having in that hall that day. This is totally a departure from what happened at the APC summit. Is that a deceitful gathering, or what exactly do you think is going on based on what you have described? You see, things are not working, but yet party leaders are saying it is going well. The president deserves automatic ticket.
Well, as I told you before, I have made my mind. I was there, but that was not why I was there. I was there for a summit, and when I realized that it was not a summit, and the voice vote was put about the endorsement of Mr. President, I just left. And that does not mean I'm not an APC member. The majority had its way, and maybe I'm even more few of us, felt that was not right.
But you look at it again.
As a senator, I was not.
You look at it within the party, there were endorsements for the president. Outside of the party, there are defections into the party. So the party is saying, even not for the performance of President Bola Tinubu and the APC, new entrants will not be coming into the party.
No, I don't think that is it. I don't think so. It happened before, not once, not twice. It happened during Jonathan. It happened when again? That does not... Okay. You see, what I see there is that politicians are decamping, but the people who are the voters are not decamping.
So what is happening politically is not in tandem with what is on the ground, what the Nigerian people can feel.
Thank you. That's it.
Is the president aware that this is a political gimmick, or this is a political deceit that is going on the way you have described it?
You saw that. Now, if Tinubu would be honest with himself, Aliyu has to be considered a friend, because this is the only senator, this is, the most outspoken APC member who keeps telling Tinubu the truth in his last 2 years. I have said here before that there are certain truths we must know about these defections. Number one, It is the fact that these politicians may be decamping to the APC, but the people are rejecting the APC daily. And number two, some of the people decamping to the APC today will even work against Tinubu in 2027 because the failure of this regime is massive and it is detrimental to the future of this country, and they can all see it. So some of them will at a point say, no, we can't continue to do this to our country. And again, it all depends on the people. Senator Ndume said as soon as he discovered that the APC summit was a fake summit to endorse Tinubu, he left the hall. And we also saw many APC chiefs who came on air to reject the endorsement. If the people can also begin to do this and unite and say no, Akpabio, Hope Uzodinma, Ben Kalu, Ganduje, and those other governors cannot bring Tinubu back to office in 2027. Olatunde Kazeem here agrees with Senator Aliyu Ndume. He said politicians are decamping and the people who are the voters are not decamping. That is the koko. And this tweet here by Omoni Teddy Baba says politicians think they can wield their influence on their people, but the real voters are not decamping. That is the key word there. A lot of these governors will be shocked to see how things will play out in 2027. And Oluwafemi here says the bitter truth: politicians, they decamp, but we the voters, no, they decamp. Well, Tinubu has his plan. What he's trying to do is to rig. The man does not care whether he gets a single vote from anybody or not. The voters may not be decamping, but they need to still come together and be a unit against this government. Only then will they triumph. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that video of Tinubu caught disgracing himself in a video in his sitting room. And next is that resignation of another Aso Rock appointee who blasted Tinubu and WIKE in his statement after tendering his resignation letter. Let's start by taking that video from Tinubu's sitting room. Of all activities in this world to engage in at a time when our nation is going through so much tension, Tinubu sat down to watch the decamping ceremony of our Akwa Ibom State governor from PDP to APC. Tomorrow somebody will come and tell us that he doesn't sleep at night. So this is what he does. He stays up watching TV. See the video. You can see that. Tinubu in his sitting room there, whether it is Lagos or Aso Rock, I don't know. But he's seated there watching the defection of Akwa Ibom State Governor Umueno from the PDP to the APC. He's sitting down there holding his ear. But he still will not listen to the cries of Nigerians. The cries of Nigerians are the things that give him joy. With all the problems in this country, this man is only concerned about power. And that is why all he cares about are the defections. Stays up all night watching TV. After watching the defection now, they might switch to Cartoon Network while Nigerians die. You saw that. This country is in trouble. It is bad enough that this man has another 2 years to spend in office. But if it goes beyond that, this country is doomed. How can you be so jobless to the point that you sit down to watch TV? You are watching the decamping ceremony of a man that you paid to decamp. Not as if the man is impressed by anything you've done. You paid him to decamp. All the pressing national issues don't concern this man. You are watching a decamping ceremony of a governor. From there, you will switch to a Cartoon Network, Lion King, or Sophia the First. I pity those who still think that any good thing can come out of this government. This man is absolutely clueless, nonchalant, and this country will only sink with him and the cabals in charge. Sitting down to watch the decamping of a criminal into a criminal party led by a criminal, while Nigerians die every day in Benue State, in Plateau State, in Zamfara State, in Ondo State, and almost every part of this country. It is such a shame. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that update on the resignation of another Aso Rock appointee began making the rounds. This is like the 5th appointee resigning under Tinubu. Look at how the papers reported it. I won't be two for one party state. Tinubu's SSA on Public Affairs, Audu, resigns. Mr. Aliyu Audu has resigned from his position as the Senior Special Assistant on Public Affairs to Bola Tinubu. Audu's resignation letter was dated June 8, 2025 and was tendered through the office of the President's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. The letter read partly, I write to formally tender my resignation as Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs effective immediately. Explaining why he resigned, Audu said he refused to be used as a tool to reduce Nigeria to a one-party state by the All Progressive Congress APC-led federal government. In a statement that accompanied his resignation, Audu said, "Good morning, fellow compatriots. I have seen many comments about my resignation, and I must say it is not act of rebellion, but of conscience. Though I do not align with PDP, I refuse to be used directly or indirectly as an instrument to reduce Nigeria to a one-party state. That would be a betrayal of both divine favor and democratic principle. After all that God has done for us as a nation, especially in these times, we owe it to Him and to posterity to uphold values that reflect justice, balance, and liberty. True democracy thrives on healthy competition, not political domination. If we now begin to silence or crush opposition simply because we have the upper hand, then we are no different from the very system we once criticized under Obasanjo in 2003. Such a path is not only politically reckless, it is spiritually dangerous." He noted that suppressing alternative voices is not leadership, but it is regression. Audu added, and it runs contrary to the divine order, which upholds freedom of choice and diversity of thought. God, in His wisdom, allows even belief and disbelief to coexist. Why then should we, mere mortals, fear ideological pluralism? We just differ on political views, as I pride myself with being a progressive and a promoter of democratic values, which seems to be lost in the unholy alliance of Bola Ahmed Tinubu with WIKE. Wow. The unholy alliance between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and WIKE is one of the major reasons why the SSA on Public Affairs of Tinubu is resigning. Another chief reason is the move to make Nigeria a one-party state so that they can continue to suppress the country, to retrogress the country, to destroy the country without opposition. Anybody with a conscience should not be associated with the APC. Another young Nigerian resigning instead of supporting APC and Tinubu. Few days ago, we saw one in Akwa Ibom State. Today, Aliyu Audu is resigning straight from Aso Rock, saying he can no longer bear the madness going on. And you saw how he dragged Tinubu up and down there. He said it is a lack of conscience. It is a lack of contentment after all that you have. Even if it is God that gave you or you dragged it yourself, at least you have it. Why not behave like a normal human being? Why are you still going overboard trying to put everything in your pocket? And of course, he mentioned WIKE, so it goes to show that WIKE is one of the cabals in this government, soon to be disgraced by the Lagos boys. What a shame. DSS boss Bichi resigned from the same government. Ajuri Ngelale resigned. Baba Ahmed resigned, and now Aliyu Audu has resigned. These are the people who don't know how to hate secretly. They became unhappy with the fraud and they decided to leave. But there are many in Tinubu's cabinet today who are no longer supporting him, but they won't resign. They are just staying there because you are even more effective working against him from the inside than from the outside. Then the man is going to roll out trillions for 2027 campaign, so they will collect his money and still work against him. That was what Senator Aliyu Ndume was saying. He said it happened during the time of Jonathan, when so many people around Jonathan, including his campaign manager Adamu Muazu, is still being said today to have collected huge sums that he was going to do some things, and then he ran out of the country on the eve of the election. And to the last day, he appeared loyal. Aliyu Ndume is saying that is exactly what they are planning to do to Tinubu. And for these people that resigned, do you know what it takes to resign? Do you know what it takes for a Nigerian to resign his or her appointment? It must be so terrible. It must be so bad. Baba Ahmed said he couldn't take it anymore, that things were openly going bad and you could not even talk about it. And that was why he decided to swallow his pride and resign. Aliyu Audu too is also resigning from Aso Rock. And there will be more resignations to come, even as we have people who will not resign, who are going to work against this government, even as we have people that are defecting to the APC today who will not back the APC in 2027. Ultimately, Nigerians must do the best for this country, because as I keep saying, this country cannot survive another 4 years under Tinubu. It will not survive. There is no trick. Look at the loans. Look at the balance sheet. It is not favorable. Look at the appointments. People with empty heads put in vital positions, and everything just keeps sinking. And all Tinubu does is to sit down and watch TV. From watching Defections, he switches to Cartoon Network and he begins to watch Tarzan and Power Rangers because he loves power so much. But Nigerians must take that power away from him if we must have a country to call our own in the near future. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una na I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.